Part two, I accidentally pushed stop when I didn't mean to. We decided that I would move back home to Utah, and because I needed help with the kids and I needed support. But that whole time, it was very hard for me that I had no support from his side of the family. And his backstory also, his one sister, who I absolutely love and adore, we were pregnant at the exact same time. Her baby was born 3 weeks before my son. So she couldn't travel. So let's just say, and plus his mom and I have had a volatile relationship from the beginning. She's very judgmental about things. But anyway, I had assumed that I had gotten over all of this upsettingness, and one of his siblings moved to Denver, and his parents have been out there like 5 or 6 times. And it's been 11 years, guys. I should be over it. And I am over it 90% of the time, but something happened this weekend. I got a text from my sister-in-law. It had the picture of her 4 kids, and it said big brother and big sister or whatever. And then 15 minutes later, I get another text with the baby. He was born a month ago. And all of Jeff's family went out there. We didn't go. They went out there for a family event that was happening. Nobody knew about this baby, and which is fine. It wasn't that. It was that I was very upset that they had a baby a month ago and they didn't tell anybody, which I don't really care. To each his own. But I was upset that I knew it was going to happen. Again, it brought back all that pain of not feeling like anybody was there for me, and not feeling like it brought back all of these things that I've been working for 11 years to overcome. And I have made it to a better place with my in-laws. But so, in an act of stupidity, so it wasn't the baby being born but my mother-in-law has a tendency to go on and on and on about this particular child and his children. They are her favorite. They are her, and this is going to sound awful. She picked favorites based on, you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. And her kids are pretty much in a pecking order, a caste system, so to speak. And my husband's at the bottom. So that's my kids are at the bottom. And because I don't lay down, and I'm missing the brush I need to do my makeup, but oh well, we're going to make this work. Because I was encouraged all my life to speak about my feelings and to address when my feelings were hurt, or address when I'm worried about anything. I love my father-in-law. So I texted him and said, when we get together for my daughter's dinner, which it's just the grandparents, and so my parents and their parents, can you ask Kathy, my mother-in-law, not to go on and on about the grandbaby, because this has been really raw for me. And my mother-in-law answered the text and got all defensive, and let's just say I have been diagnosed with type 2 bipolar. I very rarely have type 2 bipolar symptoms, but yesterday was one of those days where I was completely and utterly irrational, and I was on a depression, and I was shaking so bad. Even 2 Xanax didn't really help. And so I realized, because in the back of my mind, all of this, I'm thinking, logic. Why are you doing this? This is dumb. This is something that you should not care about. This is something that it's not a big deal. Why are you ruining your daughter's birthday? Why? Because I was so upset, and I did this, and then before I even told my husband, then he has to clean up my mess. And my husband is the most amazing man in the whole freaking world. And honestly, guys, God gave me him for a reason, and he has little to no outward emotional things that most people can see. He very rarely goes from the middle line. He can stay calm, cool, and collective. So if he is ever going to snap or yell, it has to be. And so he had to snap at me. But honestly, I need that periodically to be snapped back into reality and be like, hey, what you did was stupid. Maybe you need to realize that you were being an idiot for a second. But logically, in the back of my mind, I knew all of this was being totally illogical and dumb, but I couldn't do anything about it. And so let's just say I cried and was having a rough day all day yesterday. And then his mom texted me back, and then I sent her some nasty texts. But let's just say every time we get together with his family, with all of his family, if it's just me and his mom and dad, and well, I just didn't want her to talk about the baby at my daughter's birthday. I mean, I want to hear about the baby. I want to know about him, but I mean, that's only 10 minutes. You have to know her. She has a tendency to drone on and on for hours about these people's kids. And I just wanted my daughter's birthday to be about my daughter, right? And then she sent me back something nasty, and I sent her back something nasty. And then I finally said, you know what? I didn't even text you. I texted your husband. And then finally I decided to delete that text. And then she sent me something else, and I had my husband read it, and I deleted it. But so let's just say I was a freaking emotional basket case yesterday. Because I was an emotional basket case and my husband didn't know what to do with me. He kept snapping at the kids. And so my poor little 13-year-old was like, Dad is so mean, he's ruining my birthday. And I'm like, no, honey, Mommy ruined your birthday. Daddy didn't ruin your birthday, Mommy did it. And I'm sorry, and I'm selfish. And then I'm like, can I make it up to you? Can I please make it up to you tomorrow? And so I gained a pound. But it was my daughter's birthday. We had company come over in the evening. We had a barbecue. And I had a piece of cake in the middle of the night because I woke up freaking out. Again, I have this thing where I can't let things go. So, my husband, all this time, has been like, why do we do things with the whole family when this one brother and his wife are involved? Because it always makes me go into if I have bipolar, it makes my bipolar act out, always. And then I always, because I get slighted by his mom, react to her. In their family, everything gets pushed under the rug. Nothing gets addressed. Nothing ever gets talked about, apologized. No one ever admits that they're wrong. They always pretend that nothing ever happened. And I was raised completely different. And my husband, honestly, let's go back a little bit too. We were married. My family was screaming, yelling at each other, and then it was over. But you got it all out, and so everything was hunky-dory, right? Well, his mom pushed everything under the rug and never addressed anything, so he is a big communicator. The first time we got in a fight, I started screaming and yelling at him, and he just sat there quietly. Like I said, he never strays from that middle line. I think in our whole married life, we've actually only been in like 5 or 6 actual fights. We have a lot of discussions because he's very much into discussing and we communicate a lot. But after that, he just sat there, really polite and sweet. And he says, when I was done, he just said, are you done with your temper tantrum now so we can talk about it? And then, of course, that spawned me on to another temper tantrum. And then I finally was like, okay, I'm ready to talk now. But, so he just basically all these times are like, why are we doing anything with these people when it's all huge? And I have worked really hard in making a relationship with his mom, and why do we keep doing this? And he's like, you need to take a break from my family, and I do too. And so I called his sister and said, we're not going to be coming to family events for the next little while. If you want to bring my kids, feel free, because we're really close with this sister. And in fact, I think this is why me and his mom have a good love-hate relationship, is we have the same personality. I married my mom, he married his sister. Very strong, very, I'd have to say I'm about justice. I'm not about justice, or I'm about getting an apology, or, you know, people taking responsibility for what they did. And I will admit my actions yesterday were completely wrong, and I'm sorry, and I'm going on and on about all of this. But I have nobody to bounce this off of sometimes, and it is hard, and I don't like feeling like I'm a complete basket case. And my other thing is that we're Christian, and then my husband had to throw into my face that I'm not being very Christ-like, and that I'll be out in a minute. Okay, I'll be out in a minute. I'm making a video. Oh, it's okay. Sorry, that's my mom. How come I can expect the atonement to work in my life, and I'm not allowing that for her. And that hit me, I think, more than anything. So that's where I'm at. School, I'm writing papers. I haven't written, and I'm so sorry this is 11 minutes and the other one's probably, but I haven't written a research paper in 20 years, 17 years. And when I did, this is going to age me, this was barely the internet, and you didn't submit any papers online, and you did all of your research in the library with microfilm and microfiche, and that was how you researched. And I could not even remember that, you know, we did in-text citations and all these things. And so I submitted my first paper, and I did all my references at the end, but I forgot to do the in-text citations. But I got it back, and I passed. But I'm in the process of writing 4 more history research papers, and it's been interesting. Plus, doing this during the day with my kids home and life happening has been interesting. And I don't know. That had nothing to do with weight loss, but I have to tell you, this is kind of some of the things I've learned since weight loss surgery, and I know it's all the way at the end. Life is hard, and I was so proud of myself that I didn't turn to food yesterday. I wanted to, but I didn't. I did enjoy my daughter's birthday, but I had everything in moderation, and I feel that the hardest part for me since surgery is when these emotion things come up. That I face them now, and I have to face them, and I want to face them. I used to drown it all in sorrow, in food, and I wouldn't face it all the way. But having to actually go through the emotions, going through the steps of depression and anxiety, and going through and having my husband, he may have yelled at me, but he is my biggest champion. He said, I agree with you. I don't agree with the way you went about it, and if you would have let me deal with it, I would have dealt with it a little bit different, because he's very diplomatic. But he loves me. But he lets me go through it, and he lets me make my own grave and lie in it, but he also brings me back to reality, and he brings me back to what the whole purpose of this whole thing is. And so I'd have to say the hardest thing since surgery is learning how to cope and to deal with all of this, but it's also been one of the most rewarding. Life is still hard. Life sucks for majority of things, but it's amazing for everything else. And you know what? You can have a really poopy day. I was going to swear again. I swore all day yesterday. And if you know my husband, he doesn't swear at all. So let's just say he and my kids learned to swear from their mother, and I feel bad about that. But anyway, that is my thing, is that the surgery doesn't fix the inside, doesn't fix the emotions, it doesn't fix the hurt, it doesn't take, and I was watching a video, I can't even remember, I think it was Made Up Mama, where you think that your whole problem in life is that you were fat. Well, once you come to realize that that wasn't your real problem, and that there were other real problems, and that you need to fix those, and it makes the biggest difference. So that is my this week. I'm sorry it's so long. If you watched it all, that's great. And thanks. I'll talk to you later. Bye.